Hi, and welcome to In the Studio, where we highlight people, resources, and causes that you should know about. I'm Robin Kinney, president of Motor City Women Studios and Audio Engineers of Detroit. And today we are joined by Cheryl Ajamu. I got it?
Yes, Ajamu like a cow.
I know. Cheryl is the executive producer of the Multicultural Media Luncheon Auto Industry Awards and the founder and CEO of the Ajamu Group, LLC, an advertising, media sales, and event management firm. Welcome, Cheryl. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show today.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I was just thinking about, the last time you and I were together, we were promoting the last multicultural media luncheon. And so now we're talking about the 2021 multicultural media luncheon. And so we're going to go more into detail about what folks can expect. But in general, the last 18 months has been a challenge for all of us. I think all of us have had to dig deep to get our resiliency bone in shape so we can weather this storm. But we all know that it is temporary. But, for me, I've really been amazed to see entrepreneurs like yourself, organizations that have used this time to get creative, to still stay engaged with their audience. And, it's just been amazing to witness how we've all kind of made a little pivot there to keep going strong. The Multicultural Media Luncheon is in its 10th year.
Yes.
10th year. This is the 10th year. So it's been going strong since 2011. Like most in-person events, the Ajamu Group has had to pivot, during this time of COVID. Share with us some of the things that you have done and your team has done to make sure that this year's event is safe, but that it's also going to be fun.
Okay, so first of all, we scale the event back where we're going to have less people attending. In previous years, we were, on a steady growth. Like we started off, it was like 50 people, and then, it just kind of grew, and we outgrew the space at the Book Cadillac, and then moved to the MGM where it could take up to about 400 people. But I think we had about 325 at the 2019 one. And then when COVID hit, we weren't able to do 2020. And so as, I started to see that possibly we could do the event in 2021, we decided to, but in order to keep going, we knew we were going to have to scale it back. And so we looked around different venues. I looked everywhere and settled on the Garden Theater, number one, because, it was African-American owned, and I felt like that was important. And we also needed somewhere where, would be intimate, but that we could still, have some type of engagement with people, arriving. So when guests arrive, if they have not already filled it out through the pre-registration process, we'll send some forms out to people who have registered probably about a week or two before. And it's a COVID questionnaire just to ask those general questions about, have you been around somebody with COVID, just so we can have a record of who's coming through the door. So that's an important piece. We're also going to use the names from people who fill out that form, because everybody has to fill it out. But instead of collecting door prizes, those names will be entered into a virtual wheel of names for our door prizes. Because as you know, we always have really good door prizes.
You do. I can attest to that.
Yeah, we didn't want to get rid of that, but we knew that we couldn't collect cards anymore. And
Right.
so um, one of my young, I call them the young techs, they said, Miss Ajamu, we found a software program where we can put it, put people's names in it, and then we project it on the screen and spin the wheel, and it's all touch free.
Oh, great.
So we're doing that. And then we also hired an African American owned cleaning company. Leslie Boyd owns it, and she'll be sanitizing the podium area, stage area, things like that, so that people, feel comfortable as well. We'll have 2 separate mics. So our Masters of Ceremonies, Kari Turner, will have, a mic, and then we'll have a separate mic for winners to accept awards. So we're, keeping that thing kind of separate. We'll also have prepackaged meals. So that, people feel comfortable. They just come in, get their box lunch, prepackaged meal, have a seat. The difference is we will not have an intermission. We usually have an intermission in between, but because we're adding another element, which is the live stream portion of it, we don't want, the people who are in the virtual audience to say, okay, now they're breaking for lunch.
There.
Yeah, so we're going to go straight through. Adding that live stream element to it, it has been quite a task. Just there are so many different types of platforms out here.
Yes.
And they cost all types of money. So, we had to, really look through a lot of them, because we still wanted it to reflect our brand. We wanted it to be something that is professional and, would, be, pleasing to our sponsors too. So we have the live stream platform, which has allowed us to reach even more people. So, people have bought tickets from New York, Canada,
That's
so
awesome.
So it's been really great. It's been really great to see that people, want to be able to see it. And then in my hometown, because a lot of them, some they always were planning to come. They was like, okay, I'm gonna come. I was like, now we got this live stream. And so a lot of them have purchased tickets through that, so that now they, they don't have to worry about travel. So those are some of the things that we're doing. We're not going to have valet anymore, so it'll be all self-parking. But people will be spread out. Like I said, we won't have as many tables as we usually have, so people will feel comfortable coming in.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you guys have put the safety protocols in place, but you still have the fun element, and you're giving people the live stream option. So if a person is not yet comfortable gathering, they can still virtually attend.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So that's good. I've seen a lot of events give people that option, and really now, as you mentioned, your audience is expanding, because what if someone's clear across the world, but they still want to virtually attend the multicultural media luncheon, and now they can? Yes,
now they can. Now they can. It's a benefit of COVID. It kind of forced me to really go ahead and do that. I always laugh, because when Boris was our speaker, he was trying to push me to do that, and I wasn't ready. He kept saying, why you not live streaming this one? I was like, I'm not ready.
Well, and also I think I've been to a few of the events, and the energy of being in the room, and the networking. And so I can kind of see where you were like, no, it won't be the same feel. I get what you're saying. And I can certainly attest to the multicultural media luncheon being like the place to network and connect with other business owners, auto executives, students. So I know what the benefits are, because I benefited from it. I've made some very clear connections over the years.
Mhm.
But share with our viewers some of the benefits of attending and being able to really network with a very powerful group of attendees.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most popular benefit is that there are so many types of business executives in the room,
Mhm,
primarily automotive, but a lot of supplier diversity
mhm,
people. I've always give feedback because there were so many people trying to meet with Delta Airlines, years ago, and they would
mhm,
come to this event and Delta Airlines, which has been a sponsor for at least 7 years, they would always have a representative there
mhm.
to answer any questions, engage, and people didn't feel like they had to go through a gatekeeper.
Right.
They could just walk up to the table and exchange information, do that 30-second commercial, and make that connection. So
Mhm,
the networking is what people really like. And then for our youth, it gives them an opportunity to really hone their etiquette skills,
mhm,
their networking skills, the difference in attire, and they get to see people that look like them that they can feel comfortable, asking questions. A lot of them say they just kind of sit back and observe. They'll say,
yeah.
wow, this person went to my high school, or this
Mhm,
person is going to the college where I want to go. Or I've had a couple of students who came in and said, I thought I wanted to be an engineer, but now I want to be a graphic artist because,
mm,
they've met somebody there and they had a conversation and it was like, I want to change careers now. So
mhm,
from that point of view, is that, and then we always have the fan element where if you're just part of the public, not really in the automotive industry or anything like that, and a lot of people want to just come and see a celebrity, hear what they're talking about.
mhm,
We do have like that fan element.
mhm,
And even with the fan element, it's still an opportunity for the automotive industry to promote their vehicles to these customers. And
mhm.
so I didn't create this, but the fan base did.
Yeah.
Years ago, I started getting pictures from people who were attending saying, I was sitting at the table with somebody, or I met somebody and I was
Mhm.
getting ready to get a car. And I just decided I would get it. And then they said, will you show my picture? And I was like, I don't know if we can show. But I was like, okay. And then it just kept going, going, going,
Yeah.
going. And I think we've, shown about 19 or 20
Oh
uh
my
cars
gosh.
just and people just started like sending them in. And I thought that was like the most, and the stories vary. Like with Hyundai, there was a young lady that said that her best friend's daughter had passed away from cancer. And at
Oh.
the time, Hyundai was doing a campaign for kids with cancer.
Mhm.
And she went and bought a Hyundai just
Just for
for
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just for that. So um, it's a lot of moving pieces, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of ways for people to connect, which was, most important to me. I didn't just want to have a good event. I wanted it to be significant as well, so that people would see that there is a benefit to it.
Mhm. I love what you just said. I didn't want to just have a good event, but I wanted it to be significant. And I was really excited when I first saw the announcement that Jamil Hill, your
Yeah.
keynote speaker. Oh my gosh, you talk about fan moment. Oh goodness. The fact that, of course, he's a native Detroiter, former ESPN sports commentator, host of Jamil Hill's Unbothered, and an overall just dope human being. What can people expect from her keynote?
Real talk.
Real talk. Mm-hmm.
Real talk. That's what you can expect. Our topic is the importance of social justice in corporate America. So, you can
Wonderful.
expect that, she's going to be, she's going to keep it real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's who she is.
Mhm.
And I think at a time where we are in America now, that topic was very it was very relevant. And so yeah, people can expect that. I think everybody kind of knows her personality. And so you know that she is very real, and she's gonna just state the facts. I mean, that's just who she is.
Yep. Yep. So everyone who's attending, whether it's virtual or in person, you're certainly in for a treat. But in addition to that, I can attest to a couple years ago, one of the raffle giveaways I remember was 2 plane tickets to anywhere. I remember that. And I was like, oh, this is a different type of raffle.
Well, we don't know if we're going to have that this year. Delta Airlines is a sponsor, but we're not sure if we're going to have that. But we will have some Google prizes, a Google Home Hub with the audio speakers. We've got some spa certificates, some dinner certificates.
Nice.
We always do our social media tweet winners from Ocean Prime restaurants. And I'm trying to think what else we have. And I think that we have a new sponsor, Mahogany Brand from Hallmark.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yes. And so I think that they are going to provide a door prize. I'm not sure. They're still trying to decide what they want to do. But they are a sponsor, and we're excited to have them, because I know I have always been a fan of the mahogany.
Yes,
cards.
I always seek them out. And if I don't see it, I ask the owner, do you carry Mahogany Brand?
Yep. Yes. And so, yes, they're doing a lot more branding right now. And so, and they are all about supporting African-American women. And so I was just, honored, when, they said we really want to support this event. I was just like, I'm just like excited about it.
Yeah.
So that's a good element too. And we've got Black Legacy Spirits, Black Spirits Legacy. Let me get that right. And that is a brand of liquors that is all Black owned. So that's Black owned wines, vodkas, whiskey. Is part of the Uncle Nearest group. I think they funded that. They funded a group of companies that are owned, wine and spirits companies. And so our reception post event, which, we won't have a meet and greet, where you're taking selfies anymore, because again, we're trying to make sure that we, keep everybody safe. But we will have a cocktail reception, and I think people will get 1 complimentary drink from Black Spirits Legacy. So you'll get a chance to try some of their products.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've talked about the event. How can people get their hands on a pair of tickets?
Okay, so you can go to ajamugroup.com. That's A is an apple, J is an apple, Jack, A is an apple, M is in Mary, U is an umbrella, the word group.com, and then click on upcoming events. And when you scroll down, you can either select your in-person ticket or your live stream ticket. And then we're also on social media as well, at Cheryl Ajamu, that's CHERYL, and then AJAMU, or you can look up the Ajamu Group.
Awesome. So everyone, this is the place to be, this fall. The exact date, Cheryl?
September 22nd, 11 a.m. at the Garden Theater in downtown Detroit. Well, Detroit.
Awesome. Okay, so I was on your page recently.
Yes.
And I noticed something new. Tell us about the new brand from the Ajamu Group, Black Girl Food Critic and its purpose. You recently did a review at a restaurant that I've loved for years, Soup Dive.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And it's just one of those places that I don't think a lot of people know about.
Yes.
Because it's healthy, but it's good. So
Yeah.
tell us about the Black Girl Food Critic.
So the Black Girl Food Critic brand came out of my love for trying new restaurants.
Okay.
I've always secretly wanted to be a food critic, but I wasn't like a chef or anything like that. And so, a lot of places, this was like, in the early 2000s, they would say, oh, you're not really culinary trained, and so I was just like, okay. So, as the pandemic hit, I knew that a lot of Black-owned restaurants were really struggling. A lot of them had to move out of their spaces, move into their homes, to still cook. And so I said, well, I don't know if, my money will, make an impact, but that I did want to support. And so, I always once or twice a week, or, whenever I say, oh, I want something to eat, I was like, where I want to go? Let me pick a Black-owned restaurant. And so the first, people that I really started doing that with was Chef Charles and Nina, because they had the best macaroni and cheese.
Now, where is this?
They're in their house now. They used to have a place, I think on Finco, but they're in their home now.
I consider myself a mac and cheese connoisseur. So if you say it's the best,
it is.
You stand by that? Okay. Well, I'm making a note.
Yes.
What's the name of their business?
It's Chef Charles and Nina. So I usually post their flyer, but I'll send it to you. Okay. I usually post their flyer, which they have different specials, and they've kind of altered too. They never venture away from that mac and cheese, but they're starting to do a few, Caribbean things. Yeah. I usually get I get the same, catfish, mac and cheese, I just get the same. But, they, I was really just, trying to get their name out there, because I knew they were number one, good people, good business owners. Yeah. They were just trying to stay open. And then as time went on, people started calling me saying, where can I go to get I started getting that. And I was like, oh, you can go here. Oh yeah, I went there. And so I was, talking to a friend, and I said, I think I want to start this brand. And she was like, okay. And I said, I'm going to call it Black Girl Food Critic. And she was like, but you're not a girl. I was like, don't matter. But I'm a girl, I'm a girl in spirit. Right. So I said, okay, well, we'll try that. And so at the end of June, I went to Frida Petita. I was downtown, going to an arts event, and it was right across the street it was right, like 12 steps from where, my friend Cheryl had her art display. And so she said, that's Black owned. I said, no, I didn't know. So I said, well, I guess it's time to start posting. Right. So that was the beginning of it. Just to, do my part to let people know. And what I noticed was, when I did post them, people would say, oh, I've seen that place, but I didn't know that that looks good. I'm gonna go and try it. And then some places, like Barbecue Central, I was just driving down the street and I saw these big grills. I mean, it was like 3 big grills. This guy, I was like, okay, let me just go. And he was really nice. That food was so good. It was so good. It was their home of the barbecue beef ribs, and it was good. It was good. Their sides were good. Everything was good. And so after that, people started calling me saying, I stopped by there. That food really is good. Yeah. And so what really started as, a way to support Black owned businesses during the pandemic has now evolved to, you're the person that's really making that connection. Because I think when we want to be intentional with supporting,
our community, and it's like, well, where do how do you find out? And you usually have to get referred by someone, but now they can just follow your page. So do you post those on your personal your Facebook page, or where can they see like prior posts?
They are on my personal Facebook page and the Ajamu group page. We usually post them Friday evenings because I feel like most people on Friday are probably going to go out to eat and maybe looking for something.
True.
Plus, a lot of the restaurants are open like Thursday, Friday. Some are Wednesday, through the weekend, but most of them I've noticed by Friday, they're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, we usually post every Friday. And I try to feature a variety of foods. I've done some vegan options. We're going to do some breakfast spots. This week coming up, we're going to showcase a dessert location, like a bakery. So I try to, show the variety of restaurants that we have in Michigan. And so, it's just getting started. We're probably release our well, I guess it's already out there, but we have a logo now, so I've got and I've got a cute uniform, which is different than what I usually look like because it's not corporate. So it's different. I wanted it to be, different, not just, it's Cheryl again and she corporate, it's I wanted it to be some fun. I wanted it to be, something fun so that, people would say, hey, I just want to, get out here and support too. Because, every little bit helps. As a business owner, every little bit helps
because you never know who's watching, who's sharing, and then people are like, oh, let me circle back to that, and that could lead to a catering order. You just never know. So I'm gonna have to follow. I already follow you, but I'm gonna have to pay more attention because I'm always looking for dessert places. I love pound cakes. So,
I have to look out for that.
Pound cake. And the place that used to be my go-to, in addition to Good Cakes and Bakes, I love their banana nut bread. But there was a place on Grand River that had been there for decades called Reams. And they, Miss Reams retired. And that was the spot for my kids' birthday cakes, if I wanted a cake or just whatever. It is so hard to find just good down home pound cakes, like just simple. I don't need a whole bunch going on. Just a simple pound cake. So
I'm to look out for that. Okay, I'm gonna look out for that. Because I can't bring my mama in. I mean, she's the best, but
really,
she make a rum cake that's crazy. I was like, Mama.
See, and I'm just finding that some of those old recipes, people are doing too much now. Just get back to the basics. And it seems like the bakeries that I grew up on the west side of Detroit, and there was a bakery, Greens on Grand River. And then there was Newtson's on 6 Mile. Both of those are now closed. And it's like, where do I go now? I do my Good Cakes and Bakes, but I'm like, where else? Everywhere else is kind of far, A, and B, I try to support, Black owned. So I'll be following you to see if you do a post, because I'm a sweet tooth girl.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just starting to do that. So I got my AG Young Techs. They're my social media girls. They under 25 and
so they up on it.
Yeah. They're like, okay, Miss Ajamu, we got it all, we got your schedule. Cause I just, go through and say, I'm looking for, different stuff. And then as I find stuff, we kind of, keep everything together so that, we can keep the content fresh, exciting, relevant. So I got to give Sierra or Cece credit because she keep it. She be like, oh wait, Miss Ajamu, you can't do it like
We
that.
ain't doing that, right?
Yeah,
Right.
you can't do it like that. That's old school. I was like, okay.
All
So,
right. It's interesting. I tell people when you transition from being, current to old school, and I'm like, well, who makes the decision on that?
right.
So,
Yeah.
but thank you, Cheryl, for your leadership and not only highlighting, Black-owned restaurants, but your tenure and your career in supporting diverse businesses in the auto industry, auto suppliers. Over the years, I know you and the Ajamu Group has made a tremendous impact. So thank you, everyone. Multicultural Media Luncheon. Make sure you go to the website. The website again, Cheryl,
is ajamugroup.com, AJAMUGROUP.com. And you can probably also Google Multicultural Media Luncheon. Multicultural, one word, then media, the next word, luncheon, and it should pull up. Or we're on Eventbrite. So, I mean, you can just
type you're on it. Yes, you can search for it on Eventbrite, Multicultural Media Luncheon. And thank you, everyone, for watching In the Studio with Robin Kinney. For more information about who we are, what we do, and why we do it, check out MotorCityWoman.com, and we will see everyone next time.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye. You're welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you. Bye-bye.